Rest in peace to George Romero. I hope you don't come back for us. This is Cory, and this is the O The Anthem Podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is 5:27 Pacific. That makes it 8:27 Eastern. And O The Anthem Podcast is live from coast to coast, coming to you from the beautiful O The Anthem Studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. This is episode 171 of the O The Anthem Podcast.
Yes, we welcome you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for telling people. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for rating. Everything you do, we enjoy it all.
And hey, if you're watching on Facebook right now, make sure you hit that share button and let everybody on your Facebook friends list know that they should come and watch the show along with us. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, it's easy enough to go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go to Instagram, share the post, let everybody know that they should be listening to your favorite podcast. And they can go on over to youtube.com/O The Anthem, where they can check out the video of this week's podcast and previous week's podcast as well.
Yeah.
Now, this week, there was a bit of controversy midweek, Cory, and you
Are we starting with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said we have to talk about this on the podcast, and I'm not going to let us forget. We're not going to run out of time. You're going to bring it. What was the big controversy this week?
All right. So, last week, I had ordered a delivery from Uber Eats.
Right.
And the delivery took longer than expected. So, on Monday, I got an email from Uber saying, we're sorry that it took so long. Here's a free coupon for a delivery fee, basically.
Right.
So the next delivery is on us.
But it wasn't the delivery fee. It was off of the actual meal.
It's $4.99 off, which is basically what the booking fee is. So it's like...
But it was different from a previous free delivery. We've had the free delivery before. This was $4.99 off the order.
Sure.
Right. Because that's very important as we get on. I'm not going to let you back out of your strong stance. Come on, go ahead.
Do you want me to...
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Actually pull up the email and get... Because the
folks
if the
at home,
verbiage is important,
the
then
folks
I don't
at
wanna,
home don't even care.
Okay.
What is the important thing that happened?
The important thing is that on Wednesday, it was...
Wednesday, yes.
I placed an order to have delivered here at the house, and I put in the promo code that they sent me, and it didn't show up as coming off the order.
Right.
So I went back in to re-enter the promo code. It said, you've already entered this promo code. You can't enter it. But it still showed the booking fee.
The same
everything
price.
as is, like the order without any kind of problems.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, maybe it doesn't show up until I hit submit. That seems weird, but
Sure.
It's not telling me otherwise.
Yeah.
And I know that I entered it twice now because it's saying that I can't enter it again. So, let's see. So I send the order through. And then it just shows the receipt as if I placed a regular order without any kind of problems.
Yeah.
With the booking fee, with everything there. And then I said, okay, well, I better go up to the app or go to the help part of the app and complain about the fact that my coupon code didn't take.
Right.
Wrote up a long post talking about how I ordered on Friday. You sent me an apology on Monday. I'm ordering today. It said that this promo code would take off the booking fee, and it didn't do that. And I'm very confused, and please refund me that booking fee. And this is ridiculous, and took a picture of the email and had it all set up, and then it wouldn't let me actually submit the problem.
Okay.
Like the button to submit the problem wasn't lit up.
And I've given some thought to this. I think you probably wrote too much. There's probably a character limit, and you went over the character limit.
I tried deleting things after the fact.
Didn't go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, nonetheless.
Eventually, my complaint became one sentence.
Yeah.
Like, booking fee charged regardless of discount.
Okay.
And it still wouldn't let me submit. So
Okay.
that's not the problem either.
So you then had to escalate it to the next level.
Right.
Because this shall not stand.
Well, I mean, it's just a basic principle thing.
If you have been listening to the podcast for any number of months, what you'll learn is many of Cory's problems come down to this. No, it's a principle thing.
It's a thing about principle. I mean, so I went to, just as like a separate thing, I went to United Oil to buy cigarettes once.
Right.
And I had $1 off cigarette coupons from Marlboro. And when they put the cigarettes in, it was at the time like, I don't know, $18 or something like that for 3 packs of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I have coupons, and I slid them through, and they added $1.
Okay.
Instead of subtracting $1.
Right.
They added $1. And they're just like, okay, that's $21. I'm like, you didn't take off the discount. You added $3. And then she sort of looked at me like, oh, I did, and then subtracted it all. I'm just like, this seems an awful lot like something that you do all the time and
People
are just getting called on it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And I figured that was the same thing which was happening with Uber. So anyway, I called up. Like, they'll give you this code, and then you won't notice that they still have the booking fee on there. And unless you cause a problem about it, they won't take it off.
Right. Okay.
I call up Uber. I get the worst customer service representative ever on the phone.
Sure.
He doesn't seem to care at all about the situation that I'm in. He doesn't tell me anything about why the app doesn't work or why it doesn't show anywhere on there that promo code might not apply immediately or anything like that. He just said, I explained the problem. He's just like, oh, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And then he puts me on hold for a while, and then he comes back and he says, all right, well, regardless of what happened, you haven't been charged yet. Nothing has been sent to the bank at all. And I said, really? And I went online and I checked my bank, and it was there. The complete amount for my order. Processing, mind you.
Processing, yes.
Not finalized.
That's very important.
But I said, dude, you just lied to me. You told me that nothing was sent to my bank yet I can see the processed item right here for the full amount. And he goes, oh no, absolutely nothing has been sent to your bank. They're not even aware of this transaction yet. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this if you're going to lie to me.
Okay.
I said, please give me a manager. Give me a supervisor. And he's like, well, no, you're just not listening to me. I'm telling you that the bank isn't even aware of this order yet. I'm like, dude, I'm looking at it. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me this. Mm-hmm. 20 minutes have gone by in total. He keeps trying to come back and talk to me, and I'm like, I'm not having it. I'm not talking to you. You've lied to me. Mm-hmm. I'm done.
Sure, yeah.
Get me a manager. And then eventually he says, the manager's busy. She'll call you back.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, fine. Gave him the phone number. About 20 minutes later, I get a call back from the manager.
Right.
That's when she tells me, no promo codes come off until after the order has been delivered.
Right.
So we're 40 minutes after the order has been placed, and this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Yeah.
Which, if I was told in the first 40 seconds of my first call, would have cleared up a lot. I would have said, hey, that's a real douchebag thing to do, not tell anybody that this is going to come off to the end. I might want to put some sort of warning about that for the future.
Right.
But now that I know the answer, I feel a lot better about it.
Okay.
And then I would have said, the amount that you've put in as processing for my bank is going to be adjusted to the correct amount.
Right.
And then they would have been like, well, we didn't send anything to your bank. I'm just like, you're lying to me.
Okay.
Anyway. I'm like, well, here's the problem. Anywhere along the process did it say that that's how it works. That the promo code will become applied after the order has been delivered. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say it on the receipt after you've placed the order. It doesn't say anywhere along the process of putting the promo code in, reviewing your order before submitting, or in the process of delivery.
Okay.
And your people are straight up lying to me and telling me that my bank is completely unaware of an order that I just placed with Uber, despite the fact that I'm seeing it instantaneously on my bank record.
Okay.
And I tried to explain to her, if we went to a restaurant, me and you together, we went to go get lunch, and I had a coupon for $5 off, and I told the waiter I have a coupon, and we did our order, we placed everything, we got the check, the coupon wasn't applied. But I was like, all right, whatever. Put my card in, put the coupon in, the waiter just comes by, scoops it up without me saying anything.
Yeah.
And then comes back a minute later with the receipt, like the sign, tip, total, sign, copy of the receipt, and it doesn't have the discount applied. Mm-hmm. I would have a conversation with the guy. I wouldn't say like, oh, he's probably just going to take it off later. I would say, no, something's wrong here. Mm-hmm. And I would find the guy and tell them about it, which is what I was trying to do in this situation. And she's like, well, our businesses aren't anything the same. And I'm like, you work in the service industry, mm-hmm. you work in food, mm-hmm. and this is just generally understood. If I'm going to put in a promo code, I'm going to see it applied immediately to the balance.
Right.
And she didn't seem to care. And I told her at one point, not to like rub it in or anything like that, but I'm just like, I don't have to do this. Like, I don't have to go through this stress. I shouldn't have to call and spend 45 minutes on the phone with you guys trying to figure out why you guys fucked up.
Right.
Like, this should be pretty, when I did Grubhub today.
Yeah.
it said, even though I didn't even put in a promo code, it said promo codes do not apply until after the order has been delivered.
Okay.
It said it right on there, despite the fact that I didn't even do that.
Sure.
Uber had none of that language.
Okay.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't need this. There's so many different options in Los Angeles to get delivery from. I wasn't even getting delivery from Uber Eats until I moved here anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to let them go out of business eventually because they can't get their customer service together. I'm just not going to order from them.
Now, that was your response. You're just not going to order from them.
Yeah, I'm done. And I'm probably, you know what, honestly, like I was so flabbergasted by how bad the customer service experience was on that whole end. I was thinking about signing up for Uber to deliver food because I can't take people in my car because it's 2-door.
Right.
I'm definitely not doing that now.
Thanks, Google. Cancel, Google.
Anywho, it's still talking.
There we go. Okay.
All right. At the end of it all, I may not even use Uber for taking me places anymore. I just don't want to be associated with it at all. And now Rob has been holding on quietly now for 4 days, going to tell me why I'm so wrong about this whole situation. Okay. And you do that while I unplug the home.
So let's start from this. Cory took about 25 minutes to explain it to me the first time. He's taken 8 or so minutes to explain this to you guys. And he took 45 minutes on the phone. We're at over an hour now of this problem. I don't know how valuable Cory thinks his time is, but he did all of this for a $5 off coupon. A $5 off coupon that he got because the food did not arrive at his residence from the place where it was prepared as quickly as he should have expected it to arrive.
Yes.
If there could not be a more it's 2017 first world problem, I can't imagine it. This is the most 2017 first world problem ever.
Yeah.
I'm appalled. I can't. The effort that you would expend to go through all of this, I sit while you were telling the story and I'm like, wow, he did not want to write today. He really, really did not want to write today because he found something that would take up an hour of his time. And instead of writing and instead of eating the food and enjoying the food, he wanted to fight with Uber. So that's one thing. Number 2, go ahead.
Hold on. In response to that, I would have been perfectly fine writing up the complaint in
and
the
just
app,
submitting it, right?
and just submitting it and waiting to hear for it. So, I mean, under that pretense, where it would have just been solved in a minute.
Did you receive the food?
Yes.
Was there anything wrong with the food?
No.
Okay, so in the end, this is all about the $5 off coupon because the food did not arrive as fast the last time as you expected.
Right. I expected that I was going to be able to acknowledge my problem in the app.
Right.
And because that part was broken, I had to escalate it to another manner of communication.
Did you?
And I imagine that once I called them, that call was going to last less than 5 minutes. Hi, this is Uber. How can I help you? Hey, it's Cory. My booking fee is still on there, even though I got a discount saying that it's taken off. Oh my God, I see that. Well, I should let you know that sometimes the booking fee doesn't come off until after the order is delivered. Sorry, it doesn't say anything about that in the app. We fucked up. I'd be like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. I would fix that for the future. It's like, anything else we can do for you? No, that's it. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Well, thank you for calling Uber. That's how quickly that could have been resolved. The problem is that the guy on the other end of the phone was just fighting me.
Was a Cory. The other guy on the other end of the phone was a Cory, and that's the problem.
Right.
And so there's an old joke that I remember from middle school. What do you call 4 blondes sitting in 4 cars at a 4-way stop?
No.
Eternity. Because no one's ever going to fucking move. And this is what happens when you have a Cory on one end of a phone and a Cory on the other end of a phone. It's just rile each other up, because that guy probably had the right answer, but I can imagine that Cory had a bit of an attitude when he called, because I've heard him call about customer service complaints before. And that attitude,
to be fair, I didn't get the attitude until he started telling me about the bank.
I'm sure.
I was sitting peacefully explaining the situation, waiting for an answer, and it wasn't until the guy started saying, "No, you're lying to me about Bank of America being aware of your problem."
Right.
Before I started getting upset, like literally upset about it.
So here's the other thing about that. We've talked about before how we've basically become idiocracy. And what I find is that most problems in modern times, including this one, comes from people not understanding the way that a system works. And in this occasion, it's both Cory here in Los Angeles and Cory at Uber Eats, because Cory here in Los Angeles insisted that the bank must know that this has gone through now. But that's not the case.
I didn't say
No.
I didn't say that it went through. I'm saying that
they're aware of the transaction.
The guy was saying that Uber, as far as Uber's concerned, they haven't even put in this order to be sent to the bank yet.
Right. And
this is just something they have.
No.
If the bank is aware of it, then they've put it through.
Okay, and I'm just going to move on.
But I'm saying that it hasn't finalized until it's gone from processing to finalized.
I'm going to jump just quickly to my next point, which is that you should really make sure that Rachel is taking that birth control every day, because I don't think that shaved underneath, combed over the top, I need to speak to your manager haircut is going to look good on you. And that's what I expect. Once you and Rachel have children, it's going to be all, I need to speak to your manager all day. Minivan, I need to speak to your manager. That's what it's going to be.
No.
But back to the previous point. What they did is similar to what a lot of companies will do. Let's say that you went to buy a TV at a store. And they swipe the card and you're like, okay, I want this TV. And then 10 seconds later, you're like, you know what? This is too much TV. I don't need it. I just want to take it back.
Right.
Does that ever go through your bank? Does your bank ever deduct money from your account?
No.
Right. Because all the swipe does.
But the argument that he was trying to make was that they never swiped the card to begin with.
And they didn't.
They did.
They sent a request, an electronic request to the bank, not Uber, by the way, the restaurant that you order from, because that's how Uber Eats works. Because some people know how this whole process works.
By the way,
it's
not Uber Eats, or it's not the restaurant.
It is the restaurant.
It's not the restaurant, because where are they getting how are they going to pay for the charge? Because Uber wants the money first, and then they'll give it to the restaurant. They don't want
not how the agreements with Uber Eats work. Nonetheless. That aside.
I mean, the charge said Uber Eats.
Right, because when it goes through all of their processing, it's not Uber. I'm telling you, it's not Uber.
Okay, whatever.
Nonetheless, there is a request to the bank to say, hey, this guy's trying to put $25 on the account. Does he have $25? Like, are we going to be able to get this from him? And the bank says, hey, yes, he does have $25. And what you see in your bank statement is there was a request. Do you have this money? So keep in mind, if you spend more money, that this is a possible request that's going through. Yeah. Much like there are places that if you stay at a hotel, they'll say, hey, we're going to make a request for $500 for incidentals, even though your stay is only going to be $350.
Listen, as somebody who handled credit cards for a business before, I spoke to them. I spoke to them very specifically about this. I said, I'm showing a process charge on my credit card, which I acknowledge doesn't necessarily mean that that's the final amount.
It's not a charge.
But you are telling me that my bank has been completely cut off from this equation until the order is done.
Right.
When that's not true, because my bank has been made aware of the possibility that a charge for this amount of money might be coming through.
You're right.
And he said, no, that is not true. You're lying to me. You're trying to tell me that your bank knows about this order when there's no way that it could. Okay. And I said, that's ridiculous.
So like I said, you have two Corys arguing on two ends of the line, and they worked each other up. And again, this is a fight about a $5 delivery fee.
Yes.
Because the last time that you ordered, it didn't get to the house as quickly as you expected it to.
Yeah, and guess what?
Within 10 minutes.
And guess what? When I didn't complain one bit when my order was late on Friday. I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you.
They volunteered the thing.
They volunteered.
I get that. Yes.
They volunteered on Monday to give me a delivery fee, and when a discounted delivery fee. And when I saw that, I said, "Oh, that was very nice of them."
Yes.
And at that point, my relationship with Uber was very good. I felt good about how we were doing.
Right.
And then all it took was talking to two people on the phone.
Right.
Who I shouldn't have talked to. The app should have worked the entire time. The app should have either allowed me to submit my request for inconvenience,
Sure.
or it should have told me somewhere along the line, anywhere along the line,
Right.
that discount codes do not get applied until after the order is complete.
Okay.
If either one of those two things had happened, I wouldn't have tried to submit my problem, which wouldn't go through, and then I wouldn't have had to call and deal with these two people. But now that I've called and deal with these two people, I'm done with Uber.
Because you're an absolutist, and that's 100% ridiculous. So we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think. You can go to @O The Anthem on any of your social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Is Cory being ridiculous, or is this a good argument that he's making? Would you have reacted the same way that he did, or would you have handled it a little differently like Rob and just said, fuck it, it's a coupon and I'm just going to pay for what I'm going to pay for? Or you can email Cory @OTheAnthem.com.
I mean, so put it in this pretense.
Okay.
Let's say that you got the same sort of situation leading in. You had a delivery on Friday. It was late.
I think
Monday they sent.
The people understand the situation.
I know. Monday they sent you the thing to apologize,
Right.
and on Wednesday you used it.
Yeah.
Now let's say that you placed an order, much like I did, put in the promo code. You saw some sort of thing about it being successful, but didn't get the whole gist of it because it disappeared really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see it on the receipt. You put it in again. It said you can't enter this promo code again. Oh, I must have entered it. Then you
You're
put
just
it in.
retelling the story.
Hold
I
on,
think
hold on.
they
Yeah.
understand that.
You
You're
put it
just
in. You
retelling
get the
the
receipt. You don't see any sort of mention of it, and then you say, "All right, well, I guess I'll just wait and see."
No, or they say, "Hey, it's a $5 coupon,
Right.
and
I'm saying
I want to
like
get this food."
I'm
anyway.
saying like you would have said, "Hey, I'll wait and see," or I'm gonna get this food either way. It doesn't really matter.
Yes.
If at the end of the day you looked at your bank and you were charged that $5, you wouldn't feel slighted for it.
I would just say that is what it is.
Uber would have just stolen from you.
No, because they gave me the receipt, the coupon to begin with. So I'm only paying what I would have already been paying anyway.
Right, but you were using something to.
They gave me something I didn't expect, and then it didn't work. And
If
I
you
just
went
have
to-
a low bar of expectations. You have an
If you
high bar.
went to buy a car.
Yeah.
And the salesman said, "We got a special discount. It's 10% off all Chevys this month."
Right.
And then you went to fill out all the paperwork, and nowhere on there it said 10%. You would just pay the extra 10. You would pay the extra $2,000 just because.
So
just because you looked at it and you were just like, "Oh well, that's how it goes, I guess." Sometimes I get screwed.
$5 coupon and $2,000.
No, I'm just saying.
It's
At
not.
some point, there is a line to be drawn, right?
Right. And
I mean, at some
you're
point-
a man of ridiculous principle that you must apply this everywhere, and I just don't let my blood get up about this. Towel, fuck it. Fall 2017.
My whole point is that I have been wronged, and I feel like Uber should know that I've been wronged. And I was going to try and make it really easy and quiet and simple for them, but they decided that I had to call them to get this thing done.
All right. So 443-219-7595.
443-219-7595.
Leave us a message there. Send us a text at that number, or Cory@OTheAnthem.com. You can reach us on any of your social media. Let us know what you think. How would you have reacted? Calmly and just let it go, or burn the fucking place down and never use Uber again. And hey, while you're on the internet, make sure you do go out and check out some of our other podcasts in the O The Anthem network. Dirty Shore Underground is doing some big things, so make sure you check out DirtyShoreUnderground.com.
Especially if you like the twitching.
If you
I hear the Twitch is popular.
If you are on Twitch, you do not want to miss some of the shows that Kenny is putting on there. So make sure you check out twitch.tv/DirtyShoreUG. You can also find them at Dirty Shore UG on all your social networks, but Twitch especially. Go there, give them a follow, say hello, let them know that you're checking them out there and that you heard about it on the podcast. And I can't say I sat and watched it. I was enraptured with it. I understand a little bit now.
Yeah.
Because you guys went to bed at like 11:40, and I was like, you know what? I know Kenny's doing a 24-hour gaming marathon. Let me just tune in and see what's up. We were talking to people from Sweden and Japan, and we're just like shooting the shit and the next thing I know, it's 3 a.m, and I'm like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how this happened. But yeah, go give him a follow and let him know that you support everything that he's doing over there at Dirty Shore Underground. So, and new episodes of that podcast on Thursday. So make sure you check that out at DirtyShoreUnderground.com. So we had a bit of an exciting time yesterday. You went to bed at 11:40 because of the long ass day that preceded it,
and the night of filming before it.
Right? Yeah.
So there was a technology and entertainment expo,
Right.
that was happening at Warner Brothers this weekend, and we both got invites to go to it.
Yep. Sponsored by AT&T. So thank you to AT&T Shape.
Well, they didn't support the us going to it.
No, but they supported the overall
program
thing. Yes.
Yeah, so Warner can thank AT&T. I can just sit here and...
Well, we have to thank the LA Creators meetup group, right?
Yeah.
Creators meetup group.
Well, no, it's the shit. Now I can't even remember it. It's the one that we go to on Thursdays, first Thursdays of the month.
Is that the Directors?
Director's Edge, yeah.
Yeah. Director's Edge. So thank you, Director's Edge meetup group.
Yeah, thank you. On Friday, I got the opportunity to help record a short film on the back lot of Warner, and it was a real treat.
Yeah.
It was in the same location of the lot where the Spider-Man kiss happened from the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst.
Right, yeah.
And
the famous upside down.
Yeah, the upside down Spider-Man kiss. And also we found out that it's where Prince's Purple Rain cover was shot.
Dude, we went on multiple of the studio tours, and it was so weird because you heard different stuff every single time.
Yeah,
it was crazy. But
I mean, the studio tours that they had as part of the program would take you to different like locations throughout the back lot.
Right, yeah.
We saw the Foster's set the first time, and then we saw Conan the second.
Yeah, but Foster's was super interesting because it's like you know that's what it's going to be like, but you don't really know until you're standing there. And you're in this huge building, and there is literally a house inside of this building. And
yeah, it's literally right.
That's crazy. It's the lights and the smoke. You would never recognize
that's all it does to differentiate itself from...
Yeah. But yeah, so we went on the set of the Fosters, and if you guys watch that show, you will recognize the house. But we are standing inside of what could legitimately be just somebody's house. And my first thing to you after we left...
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, it doesn't have plumbing or electricity.
Yeah. But after we got out of there, I said to you, like, it's weird because I figured that the set houses would be like 2 times bigger. Like every room would be a little bit bigger to accommodate the crew, but it really is just a little bit. All the rooms are a little bit longer, but otherwise it's a house. It's a house that you could just go live in, except for lacking a roof.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also part of the thing is that like when you're on a production like the Fosters as opposed to Heretics,
right? Yeah.
There's not as many people crammed right behind camera.
True. Yeah.
You got the camera, you got the AC.
Everybody else is in Video Village.
You maybe have a second AC and a director, and then you have like a sound guy.
Yeah.
Or a boom op, and maybe the sound guy's like still tucked away, and then everyone else is around Video Village. And then if you need a gaffer or a key grip, they can just come in, they fly in and do what they need to do.
Right, yeah.
They don't need to be standing right behind camera like you do on an independent production.
When we're stuck in an actual closet somewhere. But the Conan tour, what I told my parents today when I talked to them was like, it's weird because it is a really dull place. Like just standing there, you're like, oh, it's really not that impressive. But TV makes things fucking magical.
Yeah.
Like when you are standing there, you walk in there and you're like, oh my God. But 2 seconds later, you're like, it's just a wood set. Like it's really not that much big of a deal. But the lights and the people and the excitement
and the music and
it makes it magical.
Yeah, the people moving about. I think the energy of people around sort of makes it a big part of it too. Like,
and we said coming out of both of those sets, like it was weirdly quiet in both sets.
Yeah,
like, there is an air.
To me, I said it like happily, like, man, I can't wait till I get to do sound on a set like this.
Yeah, because the whole building is soundproof, so you don't hear anything.
I don't have to worry about asking everyone to turn off the AC and the air conditioner or the fridge or anything like that.
You're like, hey guys, I know we're using this bar while the bar's open, but do you think we could just keep it down to a dull roar, please?
Somebody shaking a cocktail shaker with ice in it. I'm just like, do we need to?
We're getting fancy.
Can we do it without the stuff inside?
Yeah.
Just like shake the empty can. It's like, but I need the weight to get into character. It's like, fine, whatever. I don't care.
All right. But yeah, so we got to do the studio tours. Those were fun. They had a couple of really interesting speakers that we got to, especially the last guy. The
neuroscientist.
Man.
Yeah, he was really good.
And if I was to tell you that,
I wish I could remember his last name. I know his Bo.
Lot. Or Mott, something with OTT at the end of it. I think it was Lot, L-O-T-T.
Okay.
But if you could picture a British neuroscientist who was probably in his 40s, whatever you're picturing in your mind is not at all what this guy is.
Yeah.
If you were picturing
he looked like the Richard Branson of neuroscientists.
That's exactly it. Yeah, just like a guy who's like knows his shit, but just gives no fucks about anything. He's
right.
wearing sandals and torn up jeans and a T-shirt that I was waiting for the belly to get revealed the entire time.
Yeah.
It was the perfect belt length, and it just never.
It also looked like one of those shirts that like some guy who has his hat with like the bill flipped up all the time would wear.
Yeah,
yeah.
And he had his hair like a little too long.
Yeah.
But
and it looks a little bit mulletish.
Yes, it was a little bit mulletish.
Yeah.
But what he was saying was intense and talking about perception and that we all have our biases, and it's not about changing bias. It's about acknowledging and expanding biases.
Yeah.
And trying to. I walked out of that. He said, if I'm doing my job, you'll walk out of here knowing less than when you walked in. And 100%, like I was like mulling it over while he was talking. And the guy who we didn't know, who was sitting next to me, I could just see that it was just washing over him, and he had no idea what the guy was talking about. And I was just like looking at him and like, he's enjoying this, but tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be like, what the fuck did I see? And he's going to wake up tomorrow and be like, that guy's an idiot. Like, well, that's how stupid people respond.
The other thing I liked was the I would manage to take the picture when it said it's fun to smoke marijuana on the screen, just because I thought it would be a funny picture, and it was. It's been quite popular on all the social networks
at Legend CB5.
Yeah, but it was actually part of the broader point of like, what do you hear, and like arguments of people of like what they heard in a song.
And one thing I was thinking about when he was talking about that is all of those ghost shows where once they suggest what it is that they've heard, that's all you can hear.
Yeah.
And I never hear it until they tell me what it is. And then I'm like, okay, so that's why. You suggest it, and now that's all I can hear from that clip.
Exactly.
But it wasn't that. It was, what was it? Played backwards.
Another One Bites the Dust.
Another One Bites the Dust, played backwards, and it sounded like it's fun to smoke marijuana once somebody said, it sounds like something about fun and marijuana.
Yeah.
And that's all you can hear.
Right.
But I do love that AT&T Shape liked and responded to your to your tweet.
Just like, glad you learned something. You didn't read that, did you?
You guys should have looked at the picture a little closer. But no, overall, it was super fun, and VR is going to be the big thing for the next couple years. It looks like.
I feel like it's going to be a bit of a crapshoot until somebody breaks through.
Yeah,
and I know there's somebody out there who's scheming some wonderful VR project, which is going to like blow everything out of the water, and it's going to be the cereal of VR,
right?
And it's going to like make it acceptable for everyone to be a part. But in the meantime, it's just a lot of. I mean, admittedly, cool stuff. I love the daydream and like being able to like put myself in like any corner of the world and like look around.
The guy who was playing Madden with the like, you can, instead of using QB view the way you usually do it, you actually go into the QB's head and you're looking around, and then I'm gonna throw it to this guy. Like,
right.
That was insane.
Yeah,
but. I didn't see a lot of differentiation between the different technologies.
But I'm saying, like, practically speaking, like, what VR will probably be better for, as opposed to like a film thing, is if the NFL put GoPros on everybody's helmet,
right,
and you could just be with your NFL premium subscription. Through the NFL app or something like that, you can just put on your headset and be like, I want to be Joe Flacco. And then you're just sitting in Joe Flacco's helmet watching the game.
And then for a while, you're like sitting on a warming pad watching from the sideline.
Just looking at the
play sheet.
Looking at the surface.
Yeah.
Going like, all right, well, that was underthrown. Somebody stop hitting me with that hammer.
That sounds like everybody, after every play. But
I would love it too if it's just like there's like mics and sound associated with it, and Flacco's like looking at the iPad in Pittsburgh, and you hear somebody go like, "Flacco, you suck." He's just like, "Oh, I hate Pittsburgh."
But I have to say that VR aside, I mean, VR is fine.
Also, a lot of like. A lot of cursing from helmets. Like,
yes.
You just go
you have to sign the waiver.
Go to Steve Smith's helmet, and it's just like, fuck you, you little tail ass bitch.
But VR aside, VR was fine, and I'm excited about the possibilities, and I'm sure it'll be great. But there's not a lot of differentiation, and until somebody breaks out, that'll be the thing. The AR, the augmented reality, is the stuff I'm super stoked about. And like I think I was telling you, I would have, if I had $1,500, I would have gotten the Google Glass. And I think that we're going a couple of exhibits I saw that I wasn't waiting to wait in the long motherfucking lines that were people there were stuff like there was a guy who when you put on the glasses that are see-through. What's that?
I just burped.
Oh, hey, keep it professional. When you put on the glasses, like as we walked by, I looked at the screen and you looked at the guy and this little hexagon formed around your face, and then I just pushed your shoulder so that your head turned. Because I was like, I don't know why the hexagon formed around your face, but I felt like there was something going on, and
like a missile is about to come out.
No, but like unlike me, I don't use any of the Snapchat filters. I don't use Facebook filters because it's building a facial scanning database.
Yeah,
and I guarantee you that at some point.
By the way,
yeah,
you don't have to actually use the filter. It happens every single time you take a picture of yourself on Snapchat.
No, because they actually run the 12-point thing when you push and hold, and it goes. Boop.
No, but I'm saying every single time you're taking a picture, it's adding towards a database.
It's adding to a
just like on Facebook. If you ever take a picture of somebody and it says like, "Do you want to tag Cory in this picture?"
Right. And
it's because they've already done that. Whenever you've taken a picture,
they've figured out who you hang out with. That's analytics. But when you are putting the Snapchat filters on your face,
the one that bothers me is the pretty soon Snapchat is not going to allow you to ghost.
Right.
As soon as it's telling you in real time everywhere where I am is when I'm going to delete Snapchat. So everybody enjoy my Snapchats now while you can, because at some point I'm just going to delete it.
But my point is that, yes, they are built. Yes, there is a picture database. Everyone has a huge picture database, and that's fine. But when you put a filter on and you turn your head and the filter stays in place, that's because they have they've done a 12 or 20 point scan of your face and then put the filter on. Mm-hmm. They only do that when you do like the press and hold and then put the filter on.
Yeah.
And that is entering your 12 or 20 points of data into a facial recognition database.
Yeah.
So this guy, if this company has accessed or purchased some facial recognition database, may have scanned you in real time and then popped up and like, here's Cory. Here's all the things that he did, and you can go and meet him. It's Shaper, but for faces.
Yeah.
Which I would look forward to if I just don't have to remember people's names.
That's really all I want. Yeah. I just want a future where I can wear my glasses and look at somebody and it's just like, this guy's Dan. Be like, hey, Dan.
Yeah. And then we're in Black Mirror territory where it's like you just like
I'm live voting up.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah. As Bryce Dallas Harper in her infinite wisdom warned us about so long ago.
Howard.
What did I say?
Harper.
Yeah, Bryce Dallas.
You got Bryce Harper confused with Bryce Dallas Howard.
I did. Yes. So we teased something last week, and I want to make sure that we get to it this week.
Yeah, because we're running a bit behind on the.
Well, we spent 20 minutes talking about your Uber Eats scenario,
which is way longer than I should have talked about it in the first place, because
it should have been longer than you spent on it, and it was about 20 minutes longer than Rob would have ever spent on it. But go ahead. So, what did we tease last week that we were talking about?
Rotten Tomatoes and the studio system being very angry at them.
Is it changing the way that the studio system is operating?
No.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because they're not going. They have a analytics sheet that tells them how they're going to run their business now, and whatever information they've put into the computer is spitting back, give us sequels, give us known properties, give us
known IP.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Because we've had this whole summer from the majors, if we're talking about Warner Brothers, Sony, Disney, Paramount, Universal, Fox, has been a lot of things that we've already seen before. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Transformers.
Yes.
Fast and the Furious. Yep. Spider-Man.
Yep.
Wonder Woman is new, but also
IP, known IP.
Yeah, known product.
Yeah.
Baywatch. We haven't had a Baywatch movie before, but we've certainly had Baywatch before.
And all of this is betting on you guys were teenagers when Baywatch came out.
Yeah.
And now you're 30-somethings with money, so you'll go out and see Baywatch. And oh, by the way, you like The Rock. And you like Zac Efron, so you'll go out and see
And our computers have told us that you like these people.
Right, so you'll clearly go out and do this.
But what they don't in their mind or in this system don't plan for is whether or not the movie's any good.
Right.
Like
all of the stats were there. I don't know what went wrong.
We had The Rock. He's like a proven winner. Why didn't this thing? Well, it's probably because the movie looks terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie.
It's like I couldn't hate just on premise. I mean, like I told you this last night when after we were taking a cigarette break during Glow, which is fantastic, by the way.
Please go watch Glow. Go watch Glow. It's so good.
I really hate criticizing people who make movies, make TV shows, make art of any sort, because I know how difficult it is to do it right. And if you can do it, and when you have a $100 million budget, there's a lot of different concerns that change from when you have a $10,000 budget. And
maybe not for Transformers or Fast and Furious, but I believe that every one of the guy who directed Baywatch, whose name escapes me now, but I believe he went in that trying to make a good movie.
What he probably said was, I want to make the movie with Channing Tatum and
22 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. I want to make the 21 Jump Street of Baywatch.
Yes.
We're going to liven it up. We're going to make it aware of itself
and make it modern.
We're going to have The Rock, which is everyone's going to love.
When I saw the very first trailer where it's like, why does she always look like she's running in slow motion? I'm like, maybe they're going 21 Jump Street because it's making fun of that thing from the 80s.
Right.
But in the last trailer, I'm like, okay, no, you're not. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
That was like a throwaway.
But the thing that bothers me about it, I looked at you when we watched the trailer for it in theaters the first time, and I said, this is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
This is not going to be good. I don't want to give money to something that I know I'm not going to enjoy.
Right.
And you're like, I don't think it's going to be bad. I don't think it.
Well,
I want to see it. I'm going to see it.
The first trailer I thought was good because it was like all of the things I loved about the show.
Right.
But then when they brought out the second trailer and the third, you're like, oh, this is not what it looks like.
Here's the simple economics of it. Like, movies are expensive.
Yeah.
If you want to, let's say you're just going and you get a Coke and a candy, which is like a low end purchase once you've gone in.
Oh, a Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. That's such a...
It's not so cheap. I don't know if you know, but
yeah,
you get some snow cabs and you get a 8-ball of Coke.
Yes, $250. Okay, go ahead.
You're spending almost anywhere in America bare minimum $10 to go to the movie.
Okay, the movie itself or just
just the movie.
Okay, a 12 or 13 probably now.
Right, but I'm
even
saying
in Easton it's $13. So
okay, but I'm saying minimum $10 there.
Okay. And
then probably another, let's say $20 minimum average
per person.
Price. Yeah, per person.
Right.
For $20, I can go see a multitude of different things.
Right.
I can spend that on drinks at a place that has live music.
Like in LA, like one drink?
Yeah. Or two.
Maybe two. One and a half.
I mean, there's, I could go to a museum.
Right.
I can do...
Yeah.
There's a lot of things at that $20 price point. I don't want to do the movie if I think I'm not going to like it. So I look and check the reviews to see what's good and what needs to be on my list.
Is Rotten Tomatoes changing the way that you do that?
A little bit.
Because, I mean,
because here's the thing.
Superman, you didn't like.
So, Peter Travers of Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
I've always pretty much agreed with him. Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune.
Yes.
Or Sun-Times. I can't remember which.
The Tribune.
But Chicago.
Yeah.
I know that
Chicago.
me and Michael Phillips have a pretty similar understanding of movies.
Yeah.
And if I hear him say something or if I read a review of his, I can usually suspect that my feelings of the movie are going to be pretty similar.
Okay.
The guy who reviewed movies for the Baltimore Sun forever, I never agreed with him.
So he's like, it's terrible. You're like, all right,
I'd read his reviews and go like, well, he doesn't understand the movie at all. So if I went to Rotten Tomatoes and I was just like, all right, I'm about to see the newest Transformers movie, then I would look at the reviews and then I would drill down to the people I know.
Yeah.
And if I saw Peter Travers hated it and Michael Phillips hated it and the guy from the Baltimore Sun loved it, then I'm like, all right, I'm probably not going to like this movie. Just like if I ask you about a movie, like me and you are pretty in tune with what we like.
Depending on what kind of movie.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like if I said to you, oh, you just saw Transformers, what do you think?
Right.
You might say like, well, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, cool. That's all I need to know.
Good to know. All
yeah.
Right, yeah.
But like, because then you saved me the trouble of having to spend $20 on Transformers.
But for things that we haven't seen, do you go to Rotten Tomatoes and just check the tomato meter and see where it is?
Yeah.
And does that change your ability to?
I mean, when we go to the movies and we see trailers,
Yeah.
it's a 3 outcome. It's yes, I'm going to see this almost no matter what. No, I'm not going to see this under any circumstances. Or I'm going to wait for the reviews.
Or I'm going to wait for the next trailer, which is
Or I'm going to wait for more information.
Yeah.
I'm holding out information.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, yes. Hypothetically, no.
Right.
And that's where it all comes down to. Like, I'll just wait to see what people say and then
Fair enough.
judge my opinion based off of that.
See, now I do think though that
it's just like some of these things, like I know from 1,000 yards out that the new Jumanji is not going to be good. Like,
why? Because it's not Robin Williams?
No, because it's not good. I can tell that it's not going to be good. I am not going to enjoy what they're doing because I've watched the trailer and I haven't enjoyed what they've done with it.
I haven't seen the trailer, so.
But, I'm going to, I feel like.
How about Valerian? How do you feel about Valerian?
I just don't think it looks, I'm sure that the people who like it are really going to like it, and
Right.
it's probably not a movie for me.
It's going to be visually stunning, but I don't think the story is what I'm looking for.
It doesn't look, to me, and again, I hate criticizing these things, but to me, it looks like there's no particular reason why it exists.
It's a known IP. It's a book series.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like it, and it's Luc Besson who has had success in these types of movies before. But I mean, this one doesn't seem like. It's like if you told me that you were going to write a book that was way different from the Movement series.
Yeah.
Or it was like something like the Movement, but a whole different universe.
Right.
And you're like, this one's going to deal with the clerks who work in the government.
Okay.
And I'd be like, well, I mean, like, that doesn't seem like the most interesting place we can, I don't know, but, let it ride. I guess write the thing. And
Right. We'll see.
if you believe in it enough, just write it and we'll see what's up.
Yeah.
And then if you gave me a draft of it to read and I was just like, dude, this is the most interesting version of this story. Why are you writing this?
Right.
Like, I would hope that at some point somebody would be able to talk you off the ledge and like.
I feel like
Valerian doesn't look like the most interesting version of this story. It just feels like somebody said like, hey, James Cameron invented the thing that makes avatars. And Luc Besson's just like, oh, fuck, I need some movie where I can do that.
It looks like the Jupiter Rising of this year.
Yeah, the Jupiter Ascending.
Jupiter Ascending
Yeah.
of this year. Yeah, where it's like, it's known IP, there is a fan base, but, I mean, Jupiter Ascending was supposed to be a mid-June release, and then became an August release, and then
it became a February release.
Well, I think November, like Thanksgiving, then became February.
It got dropped in the February no show zone.
And I've seen it, and it deserved to be there. Like, Channing Tatum can't save that movie.
Mila Kunis
Can't save that movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was just all over the place. But that's because if you've read the books, which I haven't gotten in depth with the books, but I dated a girl who read the books and she explained them to me. That's truthfully how I know it. The problem is the first book isn't that good, and then like the author found their stride in the second book. But you got to make the books in order.
Right.
So the hope is we make something that makes its money back, and then we get to the meat of the story later on, and it just was not good. So.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it depends on how. We all have our opinions on certain people as well. Like, me and Michael Bay are just never going to be on the same page with how to make a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Michael Bay is a bad director or that Michael Bay can't do this. I'm just saying that me and him are just on different poles as far as like what we expect for in a movie.
Right. Yeah.
So if somebody says, hey, I want to go check out, let's come up with the name of a title for something that could be anything. The Problem. Yeah. I want to go see The Problem this weekend. And I'd be like, oh, tell me about The Problem. I haven't heard of this.
Yeah.
If you said, oh, it's Michael Bay.
Nope.
I'm like, probably not going to want to see it.
Yeah.
And then if you added things, like at any point, even if it was something good, like, or something that isn't turning me away.
Produced by Edgar Wright.
Or it's like, The Problem, directed by Kevin Smith. I'm like, okay, keep going. It's like starring, and then you're like Tom Hanks. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I'm still on the edge. Keep going. You know,
Laura Linney.
Yeah, like just move down the list, and then I'll sort of decide whether or not I'm there or not. You know, like, but then there's some that are like immediate yeses. It's like The Problem, directed by Woody Allen. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna see it. It's clear. I'm gonna see it. Don't worry about it.
It's yet another movie where he plays an age appropriate guy who's dating a young hot girl.
Dating Lindsay Lohan for whatever reason.
How does that work? I don't know. But anyway, back to the topic. I do think that maybe not for you and I, but for...
I mean, I just generally speaking, just real quick, before we move away from this, I feel like what all the studios need is more or less like a tastemaker or like a room full of tastemakers.
Don't they do that? They have those.
No, they have studio heads who decide these things.
But they also have the like 15 people sitting in a room that they just run ideas by.
No.
It's you bring in 15 members. What are they called? You bring 15 members of the public in. You give them like a $30 gift certificate to.
Oh, that's after the movie's made.
No, but they do it for ideas too. There's pitch groups that they do that too.
No, what they do is they hire like 15 comedians to punch up jokes. That's what you're thinking of.
Maybe. Okay.
It's like we got a script and it's funny, but it's not like hilariously funny. Like, you know, we're making Hangover.
We need it to be funny.
And it's not quite funny enough. So
Craig
we're going to
Mason
hire...
just is losing his touch.
We're going to hire... we're going to spend...
Just kidding, Craig.
$10,000 on Louis C.K. to sit in a room with 15 other comedians that you know and bullshit jokes all day.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use 4 of those jokes after we've spent $150,000 on all these comedians.
And then the director's going to cut 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so...
Just out of spite for you bringing them in. And then you spend $150,000 on one joke, which somebody in the back of the crowd is like, No, but I'm saying like...
back to the tomato movie.
It's so like Defiant Ones.
Yes.
You know, Jimmy Iovine didn't necessarily get hip hop before he got in.
Right.
But he knew what he liked, and he knew that he trusted Dre.
Right.
And that if Dre said, you know, like, oh, this guy's going to be amazing, then he put all his support he could behind it.
Yeah.
Like, let's sign this Eminem guy. I don't care. Like, this is the type of thing. Like, it's too much. It just feels too metric-y right now.
Okay.
It feels like
everything's part of a recipe.
Yeah. Like just like baseball had its fight between the you know it when you see it players and the ones who performed well with advanced metrics.
Right.
Cal Ripken was never a great advanced metrics guy. But when you watched him play, you were just like, that's somebody who knows what he's doing.
When that's
like, he's clearly one of the better players.
The old scouts versus the new scouts.
Yeah.
Like new scouts who don't even need to go see you play. Just give me the stats and I can tell you where he's going to be.
Right.
But the old scouts are like, no. That doesn't tell you.
No, you got to see this guy.
See him.
Yeah. And granted, newer numbers might have improved people's opinion of like Cal Ripken as like an analytical player, but you can only go off the numbers you have.
Right.
At a certain point, you have to just like look at it and be like, yeah, he's a baseball player. Like,
but is for most people, not you and I, and not like avid movie lovers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that Rotten Tomatoes is negatively impacting the way that they go see movies? Like, if I'm waiting till the second weekend, I might change my mind based on the fact that the tomato score is low.
Oh, yeah.
Despite the fact that I might love that movie.
Yeah.
Just because everybody else doesn't like it.
Like,
I might love the all-female Ghostbusters, but because the tomato meter's at 41,
we brought up Smitty before, so I'm going to say it again. He had a line once where he said, everyone makes fun of like Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
Like how terrible of a movie it was and blah, blah, blah. Somewhere out in this world is somebody whose favorite movie is Battlefield Earth.
Yeah. They're probably a Scientologist.
Maybe, but I'm saying like it's somewhere out there, somebody thinks that Battlefield Earth is the greatest movie ever made.
Right.
And, you know, like I'll say my favorite movie ever is Bull Durham.
And
so
there is somebody sarcastically saying in the world right now,
yeah,
there's somebody out there whose favorite movie is Bull Durham.
Yeah, or like, you know, like why Bull Durham? I just love it. Everything about it fit right for me.
Yeah. But
I'm not saying that it's the greatest piece of movie art that's ever been made. It's just that for me it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I feel like Rotten Tomatoes is not in the business of ruining movies. They want the movies to be good. Critics are not in the business of destroying movies. And
some of them are.
Today's criticism is better than it's been in forever.
Because it's so diverse.
Go watch Jim's reviews. like where he goes talking about like why he liked the movie and things he liked. And
Right.
he'll talk about it as like a piece of popcorn, you know, like an opportunity to sit in the theater. Like, how does it feel? Do you enjoy it when you watch it?
Right.
But also like deeper, like, you know, like what the director's intentions were and, you know, like the different performances and blah, 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 and break it down. Film criticism is better now than it's been in a long time. And I feel like there's not as much bullshit that goes on in film criticism as there was before.
Right.
I feel like what Rotten Tomatoes is doing right now and what consumers are doing is saying, I'm not going to spend money on something that's terrible. And they're waiting to hear whether or not somebody likes it or they can vouch for it before they buy a ticket.
You have to understand that you may miss out on things that you would have liked.
Oh, yeah. That. Well, I mean, like, so Flash
and you
texted
may see
me.
Shit that you don't want to see.
Flash texted me earlier, or Facebook messaged me and said, you have to go see, shit, I can't remember the title of it, right? Ghost Story or something about a ghost.
Okay.
And I hadn't even heard of this movie, but it's out right now. So right there, having somebody that I know say that it's good is number one for me going to go see it.
Right.
If I was just looking for a movie to see, I might look at that one and just like look at might not even go see it because I don't care about ghost movies.
Not so much. Yeah.
So I might just like, fuck ghost movies. Like, but I might really enjoy it. You don't know. You have to go see these things. And I think it's important to expand your views on it. It's just, you know right away whether or not something's going to hit for you.
Right.
Like, it doesn't need to.
By the way, I also think,
like, I don't like NASCAR, but
Right.
I thought Talladega Nights was one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. It didn't have to do with NASCAR. It just had to do with that being the setting for where all the funny happens.
I think that we should pass a law that every theater should give you a 10% money back guarantee. You get to watch at least 10% of the movie. And then if it ain't for you, you can walk out and get your money back. So 90-minute movie, you get to watch the first 10 minutes. Right? Not 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And see whether or not it's going to be for you. Would that encourage more people to go to the movies and take a risk?
No.
Why not?
I think that would be more about, because I mean, like, there's sunken costs involved in going to the movies.
Okay, but you bought the soda, you bought the
I
candy.
bought a popcorn, I bought a soda, I paid for parking, I paid for my Uber to take me down there or something like that.
Yeah.
And also 10 minutes is not enough to like tell whether or not you're gonna like a movie.
I think
in the first
some
10
movies,
10
some
minutes
movies I know. Some
Oh yeah,
movies
some
at the beginning.
absolutely, like I do it on Netflix a lot where I watch for 10 minutes and then
not for me.
Right.
But the other thing is, wouldn't that change the way they make movies? And the first 10 minutes are like, we got to give them something in the first 10
But I wouldn't
minutes.
want that either, because then that's
when I'm running
forcing
late, I'll miss it.
That's forcing me as the writer of the movie
Right.
to have to write the most sizzling 10 minutes up front.
Yeah.
Just to get it made. And some movies don't have to Gatsby doesn't start off like with frantic energy and amazing.
Starts off good though.
It starts good, but I'm saying like
And if
you
you
don't
like Gatsby, you're gonna like it in the first time.
But I'm saying like with that one, you got to simmer a little bit. Like it takes a little while before you go to the first Gatsby party where things really kick off.
Right.
I'm saying if I'm making a Gatsby for the modern age, then assuming that people are going to walk out after 10 minutes if I haven't like blown them away.
Right.
I'm starting the movie in a Gatsby party. But we don't get the whole bit beforehand about how Nick is torn up about his life. And
a first act guarantee? And at the end of the first act,
there's just like a little bell that rings.
like a little white beep, beep.
I like
beep.
the cigarette burns.
Yeah, it comes up on the side and it tells you if you want to get your money back.
Now's the time to leave.
Leave now. And somebody stands outside and they give you a little ticket stub and then you walk out and they said you just didn't like it and you get your money back. And you've seen 30 minutes of a movie and you ate your because God knows you've already finished the popcorn. The soda's halfway gone. You got to see a bit of a movie.
See, my problem is not more often the movie as it is the theater.
Right.
Like
and
I've
complained.
complained
The people.
I've complained more about the crowds in theaters than I have about the actual movies.
Right. Yeah.
So
it gives you a chance to get out and you get your money back.
Nah, I don't know.
All right.
I'm not in. I say just make better movies.
There's always that too. So,
or you know, like whatever the budget that Michael Bay says he needs for his next Transformers movie,
yeah,
just cut it by 5%.
okay.
So I need $200 million to make Transformers. It's like, all right, we're gonna give you $190 million. He's like, God, I don't even know how I'm gonna do it, but fine. And he cuts one 5-second bit of film where a car explodes and fires 100 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And that's just cut from the movie. And then you use that $20 million to make 20 independent films
For $1 million,
with 20 really promising young directors.
Yeah.
And then you split that amongst your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You put it into theaters that have, you know, like 20 screens, or you put it into repertory theaters, or you put it into like the Parkway, that sort of place.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the reason why movies exploded in the 70s was because they said, like, oh, there's all these great young talented directors and we don't know what to do with them.
Right.
They can't all make Home on the Range. It's like, so let's just give Martin Scorsese a little bit of money and let him make a movie and see what it is.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, let's give Lucas like a little bit of money.
See how it works.
Yeah, Spielberg, a little bit of money. Let's see what's up. Like, and then all of these people became some of our most famous directors. So I'm saying it's not that the art is dead or that the people who are working in it are losing it. It's just that they're stuck making Transformers rather than figuring out their own thing.
Michael Bay is not stuck making Transformers.
No, nobody's stuck, and nobody's going to complain about Transformers because there's a lot of people who work on Transformers, and all the people who work on it are craftsmen and people who do a fantastic job. I would never be able to do any special effect nearly as well as a Michael Bay movie does it, because they get the best people to do it and they pay them for it.
Right.
But at a certain point, like my theory is, or my problem is, I want to make a good movie.
Right.
So I don't need the special effects, and I'd rather just get the best sound person I could, or the best cameraman I could, or whatever.
All right. Well, speaking of reviews, which is where this all started.
Yeah.
You got to see Spider-Man in opening week.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it had a huge drop-off Friday to Friday, and actually got beat by War for the Planet of the Apes this week.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who maybe haven't had the chance to see Spider-Man, and warning for the next few minutes because there will be spoilers.
I'll do it without spoilers.
Okay, there you go. Without spoilers then. Give us a 4-minute review of Spider-Man.
All right. I would say that it's my favorite iteration of Spider-Man since the first Tobey Maguire one, which at the time was...
Series or the first movie ever?
As far as like the film, as far as like a standalone Spider-Man film goes, it's probably like a 1A with the original Spider-Man.
Okay.
With Tobey Maguire. I think this one just feels a little bit better. Like it's just written a little bit more like Spider-Man had felt to me when I used to read him as a kid. I really like Tom Holland. I think he's a very talented young guy. And everybody else in the film, too, did a tremendous job. Michael Keaton was good. Zendaya was all right. Who was the... I can't remember the name of the actor who played his friend. But the guy in the chair, as he's constantly being referred to throughout the movie.
Yeah.
He did a really good job. I thought it was interesting that they did it. They had a very diverse cast in a way that didn't feel like here's Token Black in South Park. Like,
right, yeah.
I mean, Token is a joke because his name is Token Black, but it felt very diverse. It felt very realistic. In the sense that it takes place in New York, and if you live in New York or LA right now, it's just not filled with white people. It's everyone from everywhere in the world, all different kind of looks, all different kinds of races and sexual orientations, and it's all plainly obvious that this is a diverse world, and that felt very good. I don't know. I think that everything you want from a Spider-Man movie is there. It's nice to have the Avengers as part of it because it sort of fills out the universe a bit.
Right.
And I'm more excited, I guess, for where they're going from here. That's the thing. Because like Marvel has been doing such a good job of creating full cloth universes.
Yeah.
That I'm excited. I like Iron Man 1. I'm excited for Iron Man 2.
Right.
Like I liked Spider-Man. Looking forward to the next iteration.
And are you looking forward to Tom Holland being a part of the bigger Marvel universe?
Yeah. I see no reason to not be excited about it because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's character, and Marvel has figured out a way to make these characters really sing and find the people who really identify. Like, it's tough to find somebody to play Tony Stark the way that he should be played on camera. And Robert Downey Jr. just nails it. Like, he just drips Tony Stark.
He is Tony Stark.
He is Tony Stark. Yeah. That's how it works. Tom Holland just feels so much like the nerdy, like, completely useless Peter Parker. Right. Like, just like this kid,
young Peter Parker.
Yeah, like the kid who has everything going for him, and we can see it because we're watching him. Yeah. But everyone else looks at him like, oh, fucking Peter Parker, like, you nerd, like. Right. And also, you know what? Another thing that it did that I really enjoyed, as somebody who grew up as a nerd and wasn't liked in high school and stuff like that, it definitely made you feel. It made me feel like I was in high school again. Right. Like. Everybody was like looking at I'm a good guy. I'm nice to people. I'm pretty smart, but nobody else notices it, and they just like want to pick on the fact that you're like nerdy or that you're fat. It's like it's very shallow. It cuts off there. I don't know. It just felt it hit me in the feels a lot of times. So
time's up.
Yeah.
Would you recommend? Would recommend? Would not recommend?
Would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially if you could see it. Like, I don't know if you need to see it in 3D, or I saw it in 4DX, which was pretty cool, but I don't think you need to see that in 4DX. Right. I think a regular 2D showing would be fine, but yeah, I mean, it was cool. Cool. Worth the extras if it's not breaking the bank or you can afford it.
Right. So before we get out of here, we are running a little long, but
we have to talk about the one most important topic.
We do have to talk about a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to say we've talked about the healthcare bill a little bit over the past couple of weeks. And irony of ironies, the healthcare bill is going to be put off. That must be because the CBO score came back and they feel like they need to analyze it a little bit.
Nope.
Well, why would they possibly delay this most important legislation that we had to rush through?
Because John McCain has a blood clot and needed to go to the hospital. And he's going to be recovering, and they can't do the vote until John McCain comes back and votes yes.
I was going to say, why do you think it is that they have to wait for him to come back?
Yeah.
They don't have the votes. And without John McCain physically there to say yes, I don't think they have the votes anyway. But I think they're going to weigh on, he's going to come back like a triumphant hero and weigh on Claire McCaskill and some of the others and try to get them to change.
Here's what bothers me is that, like, I like John McCain. I think generally speaking, he's been a pretty truthful and honest politician. Yeah. Which is something we desperately need. But he's also been so much in the bag for the party so many times, and it really is hurtful. And it feels like every once in a while you hear John McCain say, like, I'm really nervous about this Russia thing. And it's just like, well, do you want to take away Jared Kushner's security clearance? He's like, whoa. Wait a second. Hold on a second. He's still a Republican. I'm not going to fuck him.
Yeah. Well, and on the healthcare, I don't understand how you can rush to take away healthcare from 23 million people and stress that is the most important issue of our time. We must get this done now. But now we have to delay it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad because the CBO is now going to have
I think they're delaying it too because they're losing if they don't delay it.
Yeah.
So
and they pushed the recess, and after they announced they pushed the recess, then he got sick, and now I don't know if they're going to continue to push the recess or not, but because the recess, by the way, they take off the entire month of August to go home and relax because their jobs are so stressful.
Yeah. Yet they're still going to hopefully get that stipend for the apartment they're not going to be living in for all of August.
The lease, they still have the lease.
I mean, they still got to pay for it.
Come on.
Even if they're not there working.
Yeah. But no, the vote looks like it's going to be pushed. It'll probably be pushed till after the August recess, waiting for John McCain to get better. And the CBO is going to be able to do their full economic 20-year outlook, which is going to be great because I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Because basically the director said, this doesn't look good over the next 3 years. We can't say what it's going to be over the next 20 years, but it's not good over the next 3.
Well, the other thing, too, is that they brought in the Cruz Amendment. And like, you need to really go through and see what the Cruz Amendment does because it's shockingly devoid of humanity.
Yeah. Number one, it takes all government workers are now out. Or the Senate and the House, Congress and their staff are now out of this bill. And none of its precepts affect them. So the pre-existing condition removal, all of that stuff, that doesn't affect people who work for Congress. Yeah. So if you have a pre-existing condition, better go get that poli-sci degree and
better become a congressman.
Yeah. Or a staff member. Maybe you can't be a congressman. Do you mind sleeping with a congressman? Because that'll get you health care. So hey,
listen, you're just sleeping away from Ted Cruz away from getting free health care. So.
I do enjoy, though, that John McCain has been helping the fight to take away health care from 23 million people and then has a blood clot and enjoys the free health care that he gets from the government that he was been trying to take away from people.
My only hope is that all the nurses and doctors who are taking care of him are spending all the time talking about how everyone else is going to die because of this.
Yes, please. Hey, listen. And when
if you work at whatever hospital in Arizona John McCain's currently at, like
nothing but how shitty this bill is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the vote will be pushed off, and I'm sure when it comes back up, we'll bring it up. We'll talk about it again. But continue to call, and during August, while your senators and your congressmen are at home, go bug them, just like we talked about for July 4th. Find them at parades. Find them at where bank openings or carnivals, and go annoy them and say, "Why are you taking away my health care?" So.
Pretend to be one of the Koch brothers and try and set up a meeting.
Might be the only way you actually get to see them.
Might be the possibility of you getting in there.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about Don Jr. here.
We do.
Because this happened right after we wrapped up last week, and I was upset all week we couldn't talk about it. So I guess the number one question for you, is this treason? Is this illegal?
Is it illegal? It looks like everyone's agreeing that it is illegal. Treason is all about what they talked about. And unfortunately, despite how open he's been about the topics of conversation, getting opposition research on an opponent in an election is not treason. Does it break federal law? Yes. Doing even talking about the adoption in the way that they were talking about the adoption is technically a violation of federal law. So that's illegal. But the treason would come by if there was a direct exchange of, we will do something for you in the future, and if you do this for us now. But the linchpin in that of whether or not it's treason is, did the Russians believe that they were capable of doing it, and or did Don Jr. have authority to make that promise? Because unfortunately, one of the things about treason is that me saying to some random Russian guy on the street, "Hey, if you hack into the president's or one of the people running for president's files, and I will make all your Russian problems go away," that can't be treason because I can't actually go through with that, and he can't actually go through with that. So, like, you have to actually endanger the welfare of the United States. So, it's not even necessarily that you do; it's whether the person believes that you could. And so there's a lot of funny stuff in there. So treason.
But I mean, like, there's campaign problem. There's campaign laws that are broken.
Right. Federal law of campaigns, federal law of communication with foreign entities, federal law about discussions about hacking and getting a foreign government to do intelligence work for you. Like, there's a lot of federal laws that were broken. And even the thing I love about Don Jr. is he has he's got that Bush nod. When he answers a question and he thinks that he's given the right answer, he's just like,
Yeah.
He thinks that he has just said the best thing ever. And he doesn't realize that he's literally stuck his foot in his mouth. And that's what he did every single interview. Every single interview got better. So
here's the thing that... close this because it's too... It's stopped.
Okay.
Here's the thing that really, really bothers me about this whole thing. Trump Jr. releases the emails to sort of get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And
which was smart.
Which
if
is
you
smart.
were innocent.
If you're not doing anything, it's great. Part of the reason why he did that, though, is because the New York Times called him and said, "Hey, we have all your emails regarding this discussion.
Oh, well, see, I didn't hear that.
We are going to publish them. Do you want to comment?" And he's like, "Can you hold on that?
Yeah.
While I go talk to some people?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely. We'll wait for your comment." And then he just released all the emails. He's just like, "I've been transparent the whole time." Fucking New York Times. It's like, oh, great.
That's great. Yeah.
Here's the problem. let's say that Rachel and I had a conversation.
Yeah.
Where it's like, where were you Friday?
Right.
It's like, I was at the library all day Friday. All day. Just reading up on Teddy Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, you didn't cheat on me on Friday, did you? I'm like, absolutely not. I would never do that.
Right. Now
we find out that I wasn't at the library all day on Friday. I was at the club all day on Friday.
The strip club?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's evidence of me going into the strip club and spending money at the strip club and then going out to like the dance club later and getting bottle service. And
one of the strippers uploaded on Facebook that they were meeting with Cory at the strip club.
Yeah.
And then
tagged me in it.
And afterwards said, had a great meeting with Cory at the strip club. Yeah, they're just that foolish.
Yeah. Then when Rachel says, you said you were at the library and you had lied to me.
Right.
Be like, yeah, but I didn't cheat on you. I absolutely
did not.
Everything else might not be lining up correctly, but believe you me, I did not cheat on you. You wouldn't go like, oh, well, he says he didn't cheat on me, so that must... Right. No. He lied about everything else.
Yeah.
So why are we believing... Because his whole argument is, well, it's not treason because they said they had information, but they didn't have it. And the meeting ended pretty quickly because we realized that this was all about some stupid adoption thing, which is a quid pro quo, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, so nothing happened, so it's not a crime. It's like, no, that's not how...
That's also still a crime.
That's not how it works.
But
if you go into the bank with the gun and you say, everybody put your hands up, this is a robbery, and then the people at the bank say, I'm sorry, we don't have any money here. It's like, oh, well, I guess it's not a robbery then. And you walk out. It's not...
Still a robbery.
The police will still arrest you for attempted robbery. Like,
yeah.
It's not... It doesn't go away just because nothing happened of it. And the whole idea that nothing happened of it is based off of our understanding that you are telling the truth about the subject, which is completely and shockingly incorrect.
Using the Rachel example, it's hard because he changed his story more than once.
Yes.
In the process.
Oh, yeah.
Changed his story, then that didn't fit. Changed it again, then that didn't fit. And then it kind of all came out when he did interviews.
And furthermore, like, they said things like, oh, it was just me and the lawyer and her translator and Jared Kushner and Paul Manafort. By the way, Jared Kushner, who's deeply involved with all processes of the Trump organization right now, Trump presidency, and Paul Manafort, who is the campaign manager. Chair. Yeah.
Yep. And the connection between Trump and Russia now running through Paul Manafort.
Right.
And Jared Kushner, who in his first release for his security clearance
didn't release this on the FIA 86 or whatever it was.
Mentioned nothing on his first one. Got caught having lied on the first one. Made a second one. Still did not put this meeting on the second one.
Yeah.
So the question is, how many has he had that he is still not releasing?
Right.
And he still has the ear of the president, and they're still in charge of the nuclear weapon. So that's always good.
I really, and what's so weird is that, like, did you hear about Fox's coverage of the day after he went on Hannity?
Oh yeah, well, now this spin started about how even if it wasn't treason, and their spin, you can always tell where they are in the investigation based on what Fox News is saying. Like, I wonder if he did actually have the meeting, and then Fox News, you turn it on and they say, even if he had the meeting, okay, so they had the meeting.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I wonder if they actually did talk about the campaign and like a quid pro quo, and you turn on Fox News and they're like, even if they did have a quid pro quo, okay, so they had a quid pro quo. I get that.
Yeah.
But that's basically my sounding board now, is that whatever news points they're talking about, it's defending the fact of something that actually did happen.
And listen, I understand why people don't like CNN. And I understand why people don't like MSNBC. And I understand why people don't like Fox News. And it's all a problem.
Yeah.
But there, at a certain point, when I see something posted Fox News, or I see something posted Breitbart or InfoWars, or
we're throwing all of this together into one.
Yeah, like I can't trust any. Like I get why. Here's the troubling part. So the Republican, not even the Republican, the Trump fan who sees a New York Times story,
Yep.
will say that, like, oh, well, look how many unnamed sources they have throughout this thing. Probably made up all these unnamed sources.
Right.
No, not necessarily, because
That's not how the news works.
People who work in the White House can't have, like a deputy communications director, John Mulvaney, or anything like.
Yeah.
They can't have their name there, because if they do, they will be fired.
At best, I mean, they might be killed.
Putin might kill them.
He's spending a lot of time with Putin, so
Yeah.
And Erdogan in Turkey, so Trump's learning some lessons.
But I'm saying that the people who work inside the White House can't have their name published.
Yeah.
The people who write the articles with unnamed sources have to follow certain rules and regulations about how they go about not mentioning the name of a source.
Well, maybe not at the Boise Times Tribune.
Right.
At the fucking New York Times.
Yeah.
The Washington Post. Wall Street Journal. These places have internal
Yeah,
things.
if you're a Republican, just read the Wall Street Journal. At the very least, you're getting the news.
Right. But even the Wall Street Journal will have unnamed sources.
Right.
But they have a process, a double-blind process by which we can assure that there is an actual person.
It's like when Sarah Huckabee Sanders went up there and lambasted somebody for using unnamed sources, and then the next thing that she talked about was a story that backed up the administration but used unnamed sources as well. It's like, well, how are you going to use one to defend yourself and say that it's all good and it's right because it has unnamed sources, but this one, which is criticizing you, which uses unnamed sources, can't?
The perception discussion from Shape yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the whole Don Jr. thing stinks. It stinks real bad, and I know that it's not it. I'm so embarrassed for real Republicans, real honest.
Are there any left in government?
No.
Right. Okay. So
if there was a real honest Republican left, then they would have done or said something by now. If every once in a while you get a little sniff of somebody who might be standing up to do the right thing, like a Lindsey Graham or a John McCain.
Here's the thing,
and then
real Republicans
quickly, as soon as it comes time for them to push whatever Trump is talking about, they sit the fuck back down and don't.
Real Republicans are blue dog Democrats.
Yeah.
They're neocon Democrats now. So it's the centrist Democrats are Republicans. Republicans are the right wing. And Bernie Kratz are the new Democratic Party. So, we're heading toward a place where Trump may destroy the Republican Party, so much so that people vote Democrat, and then who are you voting for? The centrist or the leftist?
I would like to remind people that Bill Clinton, who everyone likes to look upon as some liberal bastion, was the most centrist political candidate we've had. Or centrist president we've had probably in the last.
Well, arguably he was to the right. Even he was to the left.
Would you say since Eisenhower?
Well, Eisenhower wasn't a centrist. He just appealed to everyone because he was the general who won World War II.
But Eisenhower wasn't really a man of political party.
No, that's true. But
he just sort of called him as he saw it, and leaned upon the Republican Party when he was in a place that he wasn't overwhelmingly familiar with.
He also thought that the blacks should stay in their position, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying as far as that was again part of time in America.
Sure.
So,
but he was a conservative.
If he was running for president today, if you just backed up the clock on Eisenhower, and he was born in the 50s rather than the 1890s or 1880s, then
might be a little different. Yeah. No, Eisenhower was certainly. The problem is that you have to go out of the 19th century to really find a centrist.
But I'm saying if Clinton was as much of a Republican as Teddy Roosevelt was,
right? Arguably, he was in fact the kind of Republican that Teddy Roosevelt was.
Right. He was a Roosevelt Republican.
Right.
And Hillary
ran as a Democrat.
Hillary was essentially a Republican.
Yeah. Arguably Goldwater, though. Goldwater was... Hillary Clinton has not changed that much in her politics. She changed parties and then brought the party with her to Goldwater centrist Republicans.
And she would eventually change her opinion based off of what was... she forever was saying, marriage is between a man and a woman, and then
Yeah.
eventually came along to the everyone should be allowed to marry everyone.
Well, when she was about to lose an election,
Right. Yeah.
But I
obviously.
mean, she was
Once you needed to become senator of New York.
She was a Goldwater girl, then fell out of favor with the Republican Party, changed parties, and brought the Democratic Party to the center where Goldwater essentially was. Now,
Yeah.
And if I was to pick somebody, I would say Goldwater is arguably a centrist, but he was a centrist Republican. And that was before the party took this huge right-hand turn towards conservatism in the late 70s and early 80s. And as they turned to the right, Bill Clinton and the New Democrats turned the Democratic Party to the right and occupied the space that they had left.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then over on the left here, there's really nothing. You don't find any. Ralph Nader is out here, and Al Gore is out here.
But I'm saying like the problem in general. I mean, like I don't feel like there's much conversation to be had about Don Jr. whether or not this is legal or not, because it's pretty clearly if there's going to be some subsection of federal election law which will say that this was illegal,
or federal law
in general which will say this is illegal. It's just a matter of whether or not he'll be prosecuted for it, which is completely different.
Yeah.
And is completely out of our control.
Yeah, whose control it is in?
The president's.
No. It's Attorney General.
Yeah.
So he's probably not going to get prosecuted.
But I think that the best system against this sort of thing happening again in the future is voting on the people who are around a lot better.
Yeah.
Like Republicans will not stop talking about how much they hate Bill Clinton, how much they hate Hillary Clinton, when essentially they are Republicans of the 80s. Yeah. They are Reagan. They are
they're
not
Republicans
as far, but I'm saying,
they're Republicans of the 60s.
Right.
Which is ironic because most of the people who are complaining about it were here in the 60s and they saw Goldwater. But they saw Goldwater lose. They saw Nixon. No, I guess Nixon won in the 60s.
Yeah.
Everybody after him lose up until...
But I mean, like, not so. We're at the point now where we're trying to decide whether or not we want to stick around with the people we got, kind of thing. Yeah. I think that's really where the conversation has to be, and we have to use a screenwriting term, kill our darlings.
Yes.
We just because Feinstein has been in the Senate for 50 years now or whatever.
Stop sending her back.
What? Just because she's been a Democrat in the Senate for so long doesn't mean she has to keep going.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that you should vote for Kid Rock for Senate.
Please do not.
But you have to understand, like, if you and I know Feinstein and Kid Rock are not running against each other, but for this example, let's say they are. Just because you got these two choices does not mean you have to stick with these two choices. Yeah. You can spend a lot of time getting in Dianne Feinstein's face about how much she is ruining this party and ruining this country without voting for Kid Rock.
This is the lesson we've learned from 2016. Yeah. You don't have to burn down the whole thing. Burn down the whole thing. But if you're going to do it, don't do it by voting for Kid Rock. Yeah. That's not the way to do this.
Yeah.
Just find an alternative. There are always Harris, who I'm seeing a lot of the Harris for Baltimore stuff coming up on Time Hop now. There was an alternative. There was a third guy in there. But nobody, well, not
well,
nobody.
I mean, the problem is that 75% of the people who vote are not going to vote for anybody who's not a Republican or a Democrat.
Yeah. You guys are idiots, by the way.
You gotta open up the mind a little bit.
Yeah.
And what we really need is somebody who's really compelling to run as a third party. Because then it opens up. I mean, like, listen, I publicly acknowledge that I voted for Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
But it's not like I thought Gary Johnson was
not a compelling figure.
He wasn't going to be a great president if he won.
His vice president,
Bill Weld.
Bill Weld was a better candidate than Gary Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, governor of Massachusetts and
even the VP debate.
Yeah.
The VP debate was better than anything Gary Johnson did.
Yeah. I mean, Gary was a little bit out there, but I was acknowledging this was not the best vote. But the problem was that I didn't have anyone better to vote for.
Right. And I would prefer to send the message by voting for a third party than to vote for either one of these two parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and if somebody saw like a Maryland election where Hillary beat Trump by only 10 points and it's because 15% of the people voted for a third party, that they'd start wising up on who they run.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, we should be winning this by 40 points, and we're
Barely squeaking by.
Yeah.
There's got to be some bigger message there. But they'll never learn the message. So instead of Cory's metaphorical kill your darlings, maybe we should just start killing our darlings. Anyway, so yeah.
The thoughts of Rob are his and his alone. Do not have...
One other thought that I have for this week before we get out of here. Congratulations to Jodie Whittaker, who has been chosen as the new Doctor. And she'll be taking over after the 2017 Christmas special. Super excited for the first female Doctor, which I know you don't give a shit about. Not because she's a woman. I mean that, but also because you don't watch Doctor Who. So
I'm aware of Doctor Who, though.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a lovely... the fact that the Doctor never had to be an old stuffy white guy is reason enough why it should have changed.
Well, and they chose younger men. They chose different kinds of men.
Right.
But my only rule was they had to be British. That's really all they had to be, because that's part of the character, I think.
I mean, if it was Idris Elba, would you be up for that? Like, would that be exciting for you?
It's been so long since I've heard him speak in his...
And his British tongue?
Yeah, in the actual accent. I don't know.
It's good.
I'd be fine.
It's good.
I'd probably be fine with it. If I heard him speak and thought, hey, he's really from Britain, then I would be fine with it.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, then I am down with it.
Okay.
That's weird. That's like when you're trying to get rid of the hiccups and you're like, when's the last time you saw a frog? Like, when's the last time you heard Idris Elba speak with in his like normal accent?
Just any interview.
I don't know when the last time I saw him.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Huh, yeah. But nonetheless, Jodie Whittaker from Broadchurch, very excited to see the new Doctor in 2018. So congratulations. So.
All right. Well, if you have any secret government information that you want to pass along to us for research purposes, you know where you can do that?
Where's that?
OTheAnthem.com. Cory at OTheAnthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595.
And you can find me on our social networks at Robert and Cheek. Make sure you check out robertandcheek.com for links to my political blog, foundingthefuture.us, the news website, and the books, which are available on Amazon.
Buy Rob's books.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. And don't forget, get in your comments for next week. Did Cory overreact? Is he being one of those... I need to speak to your manager, ladies. Or would you have reacted like him, or would you have reacted the way that Rob really says that you should react? So make sure you get in those comments. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Cory, this is Rob. Have a good week, everybody.
At what point is it not a crime?
To do what?
I guess talking about it.
It's
maybe,
a substantial
hold on, maybe
step.
we should stop it right now.
Wait a second.